Good evening. This is a film room episode today. To get back into the swing of things and to catch up on videos mainly because I've been away for a bit. I'm with my co-host and as always, the brains of the show, Xavier. How's it going, mate?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Excited of what we got today. Today we have got a film room and on the one and only Carson Wentz, obviously the big notable signing of some of the Colts' new quarterback going into the new season. First of all, before we get into the game, which you know, many of people have endlessly touched on Carson Wentz, but he seems to be happy at the minute in Indy. I'm guessing you've seen all the practice videos and that.
Yeah, with him playing knockout stuff like that.
Yeah. Um, it seems he's got a new lease of life. I'll say that again. We are gonna break down a few plays from the Washington game, week one. Um, Washington won the game 27-17. So, this is breaking down I wouldn't say the bad side, but the most vulnerable side of Carson Wentz. It would have been easy for us to go and pick a highlight reel and just look at all the amazing plays. Um, we're not here to do that. We're here to ask ourselves whether Carson Wentz is broken beyond repair or if just his time in Philadelphia was a cursed time. Um, we'll start with the first touchdown of the game. We'll watch it through on the first angle. Then on the second angle, we'll talk about the play bit by bit. So just press play. I mean, from the first viewing of that, an absolute dart stands up in the pocket well. This is the good side of Carson Wentz, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the side of Carson Wentz. Hopefully, we get next year.
Right, okay. So as a player, it's the start of the game. Opening drive. I mean, the opening drive was a good opening drive. It was 3 for 4 for 76 yards. So it's going well. I don't know as much. I don't know if you know as much, but as the field gets shorter, it's obviously harder to find the open space and find the passes. When you get towards that end zone as a quarterback, how hard is it to actually find a gap in a defense?
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things to do in today's NFL is play against a condensed defense, especially in the red zone. You see very few people have a lot of success. I think that's one of the big reasons a lot of people like Lamar Jackson is just because of how consistent he's been in the red zone. 40 touchdowns, one interception. I think having that elite speed really helps him down there and helps spread that defense out more. But when you get down in here and you're just that, run of the mill pocket passing quarterback like Carson Wentz is, it gets hard. It's difficult. It really is. There's just not a lot of air in these pockets he's trying to throw into. So it gets difficult.
Okay, so we'll watch it through again a second time. Obviously, pausing at times to try and diverse as to what's going on in the play. But coming out looking at that defense, is it just a cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, maybe? I'd say probably cover 4 this close to the red zone.
Uh, yeah, I'm sure they're probably playing the goal line. I'm sure that's what they are. They're just making sure nothing gets over the top into the end zone.
Yeah.
Allowing them guys that are linebacker at the goal line level to make a play individually on any underneath throws.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing we see, Carson Wentz motions. Now the motions obviously bring the player across. Now the snap. From my point of view, Carson Wentz is trying to sell this play action as hard as he can to bring this edge rusher. And I just can bring this up. bring the edge rusher here, try and draw him towards either, I think that's Zach Ertz coming across on the motion, or they're running back. Is that what you're seeing? Are you seeing something else? When somebody audible, I'll put it this way, when a quarterback audibles on the line and obviously, bring someone across the line like that, do your defensive assignments change, or do you just stick to your plan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Right here, I think if I'm the defensive end, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to get off the ball. I'm going to get my eyes on the football and see what's happening. See, if I'm free released, I know something's happening. One, either going to be a quick pass, going to be a screen, or two, they're bringing someone to block me. And so if I was this defensive end, I would be looking to get hands on Zach Ertz, just in case he's trying to come block me, or in case he's trying to fake a block and then go for a route. I would get hands on just to disrupt him if I'm this defensive end.
Yeah.
Or third possibility, I can just get straight to the quarterback. But like you said, Zach Ertz is coming in motion. Most likely he's going to do something to impede this defensive end on the left side here.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll watch it through the first phase of the play action. I mean, he sells the play action there. Like you said, I mean, maybe you should be a defensive end in the NFL because that guy absolutely bit on that and he was like, nah, let's go and disturb him. So, we can speak with Robert Mathis and get you back in there, I'm sure. But no, I just bring up, so like you said, you would have stayed outside. Obviously, Carson's done a good job of selling. Well, everyone's done a good job of selling the play action. This here, a nice. I'm gonna just annotate it so that people. Obviously, I can't just point to stuff because people won't see. But I can just highlight it quickly. This here, excellent double block. The right tackle is doing a job by making 99 go around the play. So everything here is working for Carson. What do you see in the situation? Is this time, is he already reading plays? Is he already reading these hot routes? What's happening here?
Well, if I'm Carson Wentz, I'm looking at number 19. I think that's our Sega Whiteside, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm saying touchdown. I'm just throwing the ball with a little touch right over number 28 there, the safety, and I'm going about my business. I don't think that's where he goes. I think he sees that, and I think he goes to the other side, if I'm not mistaken. I think after watching the first play, but in this situation, I would like 19. If you can get that ball over that safety right there, I think it would be perfect.
I mean,
then again,
that does look like a Michael Pittman route from 19. That's the sort of route a Michael Pittman's going to run in that situation. You was about to carry on, sorry, before I interrupted.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm not really sure what 19's doing here. It looks like he's going to either stop or he's going to go up towards the post there. Either one, I think would be just fine right here. I think if he can fit a ball into a window in this situation, which quarterbacks have to, in the red zone, I think he'd be just fine. Yeah.
Go watch it. I mean, I think looking at Carson Wentz's, it sounds weird, but looking at Carson Wentz's helmet and head, he is looking towards number 19. Maybe he's just concerned about this guy and this guy. But, different story. So I'll carry on watching. So that was interesting. I've only just literally seen that myself. So he does, and it's a very minor pump fake there. And it just freezes number 26 here. Now, pump fakes are probably something people don't take very seriously. I think I was watching a Peyton Manning thing, and he was saying the one thing that Tony Dungy and Bill Polian made him do, you've got to pump fake. You've got to do it properly. You can't just sort of, you see maybe younger kids nowadays, especially in the college system, a pump fake for them is just a twist of the hips or a nod of the head. You've proper got to pump fake it. And Carson Wentz has done his job. He's instantly brought this guy over. I keep doing that. I keep not highlighting people and just pointing to them like people can see what I'm pointing at. But he's instantly drawn this guy over and he's frozen this guy. Now, when you freeze someone in the NFL, if you just want to explain, what that gives Carson Wentz if he's frozen, is that a safety there, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you'd just like to, talk through what freezing him has opened up for Carson Wentz.
Yeah. So we were talking about, a few minutes ago, what I would have done in that situation. I said I would have put some touch on the ball, threw it over this safety. There seems to be, 6 yards of separation between this safety and this player vertically, probably 3 yards. So what Carson Wentz did here, he did the safe thing. Instead of, chancing it here, throwing that touch pass, giving 28 an opportunity to make this interception. He pump fakes, freezes him, and as you can see, one person froze, and then the guy on the left over here, who you have highlighted, also was paying attention to Carson and is froze right here. So that's going to end up opening up this throw to the left over here. Again, it's going to all circle back to there's not a lot of separation in the red zone. These defenses are collapsed down, and being able to freeze people is going to free up holes in that zone defense.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds silly, but it is really schoolboy stuff. It's it's one of them first things you learn, and when done perfectly, it leads to this. An absolute dart of a throw. I don't know who got it. It may have been Ertz. I thought it was Ertz who came round on the not audible. Forgot what it's called. Motion, but it must be Ertz out wide. Oh well. But yeah, anyways, he's obviously bought that separation because the player who we highlighted. I'll just highlight him again. This all stems from a pump fake. So because this player here froze, this guy here all of a sudden had 2 people to cover in Ertz and the other Philadelphia wide receiver. But all that being said, it is just a very nice throw from Carson Wentz.
Yeah, he definitely showed off the arm there. That's pinpoint accuracy when it needs to be pinpoint.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Carson Wentz is already running off. He knows it's a touchdown. But yeah, now I can never remember. Do we get a third angle? I mean, yeah, that is accurate. So it wouldn't have been him on the motion, but did well to hold on to it. No, it don't. But that's the first one. I mean, overall, it's looking good for our quarterback. A lot of people, will say it was bad defending. You can't bite on them play actions, but it's how you sell a play, and it's if Carson Wentz goes half-heartedly into the play action, maybe that defender doesn't bite. If he doesn't do the fake, the pump fake, maybe the guys don't freeze. So it's all about, Chris Ballard says it all the time. It's about doing the basics right and doing them 100% of the time. The next play I've got is, he's second to the last touchdown of the game. I'll just bring that across quickly. So this is just the end of play, but This is okay. So they've just brought the snap. Quarterback is coming to the line, obviously telling these guys what he spotted something he likes because he's making a signal. His team are listening. Just from this picture, what the quarterback looking for in the defense? Is he looking? I mean, he's obviously looking for one or two safeties, but what is there anything in particular he's looking for? Or is it just depending on which team he's played and what he's studied?
Yeah. So taking a first glance at this looks to be either cover one man coverage or cover three. So they're either going to this safety back here, way back. He's going to be playing middle of the field, 100%. There's not many disguise coverages that drop back a safety. It's almost 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. That really does. Teams don't do that. So in this situation, Carson Wentz off the snap is going to be looking for two things. Are these corners that are out wide going to drop all the way back into thirds, or are they going to stick and play man coverage? And based off of that read is probably where he's going to go with the football. Also, keeping in mind, Zach Ertz is playing at this time. So, Zach Ertz one-on-one with the linebacker and man coverage is usually a pretty favorable matchup as well.
Cool. So we'll watch the playthrough and then again, we'll watch it through the second time and break it down. So yeah, you can tell Carson Wentz has obviously seen some. He's doing his hot routes. That's just a fantastic pass. So we can't. The only people we can see on the field at the minute, obviously, are Carson, his offensive line, and the middle linebacker in the front four for Washington. That's because Philadelphia are five wide. Five wide being the formation where there's no one in the thingy behind Carson Wentz. There's no running back there. They're just five receivers to say. Five receivers. We'll break a bit of the O line down here, but five wide. As an offensive lineman, you're getting no help from a tight end, no help from a running back blocking. This is all hands on deck in it for you. You would know as a lineman that this is what you train for the most. Yeah.
Just your one-on-ones, 5 wide one-on-ones, especially for offensive linemen. This is probably the biggest time. This is when all the weight's on your shoulders. You have to win that engagement.
Yeah. So talk about it. Okay, so he's obviously made these calls, these adjustables. Snap in hand. So the ball in hand here. We don't need to talk too much about the offensive line because this is about Carson Wentz. But it looks like everyone's doing the job so far. One thing I wanted to point out about Carson Wentz is instantly he's looking towards Zach Ertz, who you can just about see here on the corner of the screen. Like you said, man-on-man, Zach Ertz, there's only one winner in that situation. Now, the interesting thing to watch now is 53. Obviously not our 53. He would have made a play here, of course. But his head is now looking at Zach Ertz because Carson's looking at Zach Ertz. We'll keep watching. Yeah, I'm going to take that back to the first angle to break out. It's a bit of a hard angle to break out. I mean, it's another chance to watch a great play, but We'll watch the better angle of it and break it down.
Yeah. So to me though, defensively, that looks like a cover one hole. So they got the safety all the way back, and they got the middle playing the intermediate middle as well. So pretty much sidelines are all one-on-one man coverage. Just everywhere but the middle of the field is open if you can win one-on-one against your matchup.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll talk about the play then because it's hard to talk about that one from the other angle. So we'll talk about it from this angle. So, he's taught, and we saw a lot of it. The younger fans won't remember, but the older fans and fans our age will remember. Peyton Manning did non-stop but talk at the line. You wasn't sure if he was actually telling you a hot route or if he was just sprouting pure garbage. That was just Peyton. The famous Omaha comes from this. But, the play's called, obviously, in the helmets, in the huddle. They go out. If a quarterback sees a look he likes, he obviously has in this play. Is it up to the quarterback to just roll with it, or is it up to the quarterback to ask his coach, look at his coach, or is that just development of young quarterbacks to more experienced quarterbacks?
Yeah, that's. I think what you're asking is literally the golden question for quarterbacks. This is when do you finally reach that level of confidence where you can read a defense and then call a play, you can override a play from your coach. Personally, I think Carson Wentz has reached that. I think he's dominated the league at least 2 solid years. Injuries hampered him, of course, but we've seen him be dominant. We've seen him make these reads, and right here, I think is a good example of what you're talking about. I think he's diagnosing this cover one, which Washington loves to run because they got a physical front four. They also have physical linebackers, fast linebackers. They got a really good personnel for this play. So I think Carson Wentz did read this play and then made the correct throw as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it takes a lot of guts to override the coach because if this play doesn't work out, the coach is going to give him an absolute earful on the sideline.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. You're going to go to the sideline, you're going to get chewed out.
Okay, so yeah, he's obviously seen something like he's likes, just making sure everyone knows what to do. Snap, right. We broke it down from the other way. It's a bit, it's better to see this way. But for me, he's definitely, I thought, initially he was looking at Zach Ertz, but maybe he's looking at who he was meant to throw it to, who is, I'm not sure of his name. Give me a sec, I'll highlight him. This guy here. D. Goda. I don't know. Obviously, a very famous wide receiver. Anyway, yeah. So we'll carry on watching the play. Okay, it's not a all-out launch it. It's not a lot. It's more of a a touch pass as we know in this day and age. He sort of just he does the one thing a quarterback should do, and that's put the ball where nobody else can get it apart from his receiver.
Yeah, it's just in this situation, tight man coverage is what you got to do. There's a guy just a stride or half a stride behind your receiver. You got to put this ball where only your receiver can get it and come down with that football.
And it's a beautiful throw, and it's a touchdown. Just want to go back up a little bit.
Yeah, so it worked out exactly. I'm guessing how he read it. So he sees Zach Ertz's man is playing far off him. Number 10 down here, who is their speedy guy, his corner is also playing far off of him. So I'm sure he sees this. If I'm a quarterback and I'm looking at this, I'm saying, oh, this is man coverage. they could be disguising it, but there's a lot of holes in this zone defense if they were disguising this, of course, uh, in this way. So I think if I'm Carson Wentz, I'm seeing this. I'm saying, oh, there's a linebacker on my really fast uh, tight end. This tight end is kind of like how do I describe him? He's like a Trey Burton replacement. So Philadelphia has two good tight ends. They of course have Zach Ertz, but then they also got that tight end. It's a little bit smaller, but he's a little bit quicker as well. And they see him with that one-on-one matchup right here. He just tells him to run that fade route and throws a beautiful ball up. That's really all it was. It's just taking the favorable matchup in these situations.
It's picking the correct battle, essentially, is what he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we'll let that run through because the next play we're going to do is it's not a touchdown, but it's a long pass downfield that I think is, again, the difference is what we're going to see between Philip Rivers and Carson Wentz. This is where he's a bit more like Andrew Luck. So I'll just bring that up, minute 14. Yeah, this is not fun. So that's not the one, but we'll see on the next one, on the next play. Just wait for it to come up. Or have I got my time wrong here? So I believe this is the play. Hopefully I've got it right on my sheet. I'll just double check it is, and then I'll come back to the start of the play. Yeah, it is. I got my timing wrong. That's all. Hey, well, that's a stat. We could talk about our play afterwards. Oh, you bugger. It's just skip forward on me.
Yeah, was this the first time Washington and the Eagles played in 2021?
Yeah, this is week one.
Week one.
Okay, so this is the original play that I wanted to talk about. It's a long pass downfield. Hopefully, I'm guessing this is what Frank Reich and Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay have watched. If this is what he can do, what Philip Rivers couldn't do. So let's talk about a bit about the offense and the defense. What are you seeing so far from this Washington D? What do you see from? I mean, obviously we just watched the play, but what do you think is going to happen?
So to me, I'm seeing a really relaxed zone coverage. Looks like they're catering towards stopping the deep ball in this situation. Funny part is they still get the deep ball, I guess, but yeah, right here it just looks like this is really spread out. Looks like you're going to have to, find a hole in this zone coverage. You're going to have to find a spot where the defense is just a little bit relaxed. And right here, Carson Wentz pretty much is just going to look at this receiver. This receiver is just much faster than number 23 over here on the left side. And he's just going to burn him. And Carson Wentz, like you said, where he's like, look, he's got that arm talent. He's got that, top 10, top 5, maybe even arm talent in this league. I mean, he's got a cannon for an arm. It's just, the biggest issue is, can he stay healthy to keep that arm intact?
Yeah, I mean, we've highlighted the receiver and not bad. Second. And Washington's, defensive back here, number 23. Now, number 23 here, is in conversation with his safety, what it looks like. Now, I don't know how that conversation went, but afterwards it was definitely, no, he was your man. No, he was your man. But interestingly, and it's weird the little things you pick up on when you watch plays back. This is what scouts get paid to do. This is what GMs on draft night get paid to do, and all that jazz. Carson Wentz is, we can't see it best from this angle, so I'll show it on the next one. Head and helmet angle here is looking straight at these two. Like you said, 23 is facing his man. So that means he has to turn and go, whereas Philadelphia's receiver, who is a speedy receiver, doesn't have to turn, so he's going to get that boost of, he can run past him. And for me, that's what he exploits excellently here. We'll let it run through, and then we'll talk about it again on the second angle.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what defense this is, but I think it's just a breakdown. I think this was some sort of cover 3, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't really see what the guy on the far side did off the snap of the ball. It could have been cover 4. This guy just didn't really, or number 23 we was talking about, just didn't know what his job was on this play. But there was definitely some confusion, like you said, between that corner and that safety that causes number 10 to get open right here.
Yeah, I feel like this is the better angle for these sort of long plays, long pass plays, just because you get the full vision of the field. So maybe this is best to break it down from. But yeah, we talked about the safety in conversation with his DB. We talked about Carson Wentz maybe picking up on that. So I watch here, ball in hand. I mean, he is looking. Let me just annotate it for all the people watching. But, he is looking at these guys here.
Yeah.
My brilliant graphics skills there. But so like you said, maybe he is trying to find that soft zone. But even here, he's got a guy who, I keep saying here, like people can see what I'm on about. Right here, what I've just highlighted, this guy's got 10 yards of space. You just can't give that in the NFL.
Yeah. There was, there was a few ways he could have went about this. Like you said, the guy you just highlighted, I mean, he could have threw it to him and had, 15, 20 yards out of it and probably been just fine with that. But it appears to me that they are backed up really far. This looks like this is, you can see the chains up here at the top, right? It looks like they're 15 yards behind the chain. So this looks like a 2nd and 25 scenario in this situation. I think what Carson Wentz did, I think he does a good job of taking this snap. I think he saw the confusion between 23 and the safety. And I think he's looking to the left to look them off because as you can see, both the safeties back here are looking to the right of the field over there. They're looking away from where number 10, the receiver at the bottom, is going to be. And so once Carson gets that safety looked off, he realizes this corner did not have good technique, didn't turn and run like the one opposite to him. See, as you can see, the guy down here, he's still backpedaling. If you look across the field, that other corner, he's already running. So this is a cover 4. This is a cover 4. It's just the corner down here didn't know his job and ultimately is the reason why Carson Wentz is going to be able to get this big 40, 50-yard throw.
I mean, if I can just take it back slightly. It's a nice double move from this receiver, I must admit. But I just want to highlight, what you brought up about people doing the job. Because this corner here is already backed off, like you said. The corner there is already backed off. He's not had to do what is now making number 23 look really ridiculous. He's not had to turn. He's already backed off. Carson, we'll just point out at this point, obviously knows what he's doing already. He's seen his guy make an excellent double move, but made number 23 look a bit silly. And then it's just a matter of fitting the ball in the window, which he does. And it's a nice throw, again in a position where only his guy can catch it. Over the shoulder, make sure he gets enough underneath it. We can watch it through again from this angle. I mean, we can look more at the pocket here. So, believe it or not, the Philadelphia O-line is actually doing really well this far. I say this far into the season. In the first quarter of the first game of the season, they're doing really well. Holding up strong. And just there, this is where great quarterbacks become, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, is when they make the correct calls, like I think it's 93 runs a little cross back out. I'll highlight it. I need to get used to doing that. Number 93 of Washington, and I believe that's 99. They run like a little cross route, sort of rush.
Yeah, so that's Jonathan Allen, Chase Young.
I mean, that's nothing to be sniffed at, is it?
Yeah. That's two really great players. A lot of people don't know Jonathan Allen, but he's actually one of the better one techniques that was in the NFL this year. Probably top 5 in my opinion. I think he actually is one of the best prototypical one tech. So he can kind of get after the quarterback and he can stuff the run really well. I put him up there at that Grover Stewart category for sure. He's definitely that caliber of a player, maybe even a little bit better. And then you look on the other side, you got Montez Sweat, who's also really talented outside linebacker, edge rusher kind of guy. And then you got Matthew Ioannidis, who is easily one of the strongest defensive tackles in the league as well. This front four for Washington is not talked about enough, in my opinion. I think they're excellent. I think it's one of the best units in the league, hands down.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see later in this video why there's such a good unit. But he was sacked so many times in this game. It was unreal. We're not going to look at all of them. Otherwise, we'd be here all night. But anyway, back to this play. So, yeah, just to pause it here because this gives us the best angle. And this is, how you realise how good a quarterback can be. A little crossing route here, just to confuse the left tackle and left guard, which, by the way, probably is not going to happen in Indianapolis for Carson Wentz. We saw, I think it was someone of the Chargers try and do that, and Quentin Nelson just pancaked him. He's obviously looking to the left, Carson Wentz, like you said, holding out his play, making sure people don't know what he's up to. I'll get back to it. Now, I keep pointing to the screen like people can see what I know about. It just look weird on camera, but now he's seen the crossing route happen and he's starting to feel the pressure. I mean, we're breaking it down and we're making it look like minutes in the pocket, aren't we? But it's not, it's seconds, if that.
Yeah, it's for Carson Wentz. I think he had the shortest average time in the pocket this year. I don't remember exactly what the time was, but it was ranked 32nd of all starting quarterbacks. So, that doesn't tell you anything about how much time he had in the pocket. Just say he didn't have much time to make a read.
Yeah. So he's seen his guy make a double move, and it's actually here where I think he makes his mind up in what he's going to do. Because he feels the pressure, come round there, look. He's like, I'm going to get hit here. Let it go. and it's an excellent throw.
Bomb.
Yeah, it's just if we can get Carson Wentz in form, which I believe we fully can, this is just a dangerous team. On to the next play. The next play is going to be a sack. Is this the one? No, sorry, it's after this one. I'll just let this play out. And then... Okay, so here again we're down. This is the first quarter. I think it's just before. Sorry. Yeah, it's still the first quarter, but it's after the first touchdown. So down in the end zone, still trying to make a play. Again, we'll talk about. Well, you can talk about what you see on the field at the minute.
Okay. Yeah, so just coming to it here, this tight formation. You got everyone kind of down near the line of scrimmage. You got the bunch formation to the right. This is a formation everyone loves in the NFL. Like every team, you go watch film on every team comes out in gun bunch at least one time a game. Unless you're like, really, really, exotic style offense, maybe the Ravens, someone like that power run, RPO stuff, or strictly RPO stuff. But right here, this is a formation we ran a lot as well in Indianapolis this year. This is a formation we love. A lot of teams love it. This is like, if you think of a formation that you can do pretty much anything out of, which is run, pass, levels, concepts. I mean, break one deep over the middle, break one deep on the outside, wheel routes. There's so much you can run out of this. It's pretty incredible. So a defense coming up to this formation, they're kind of intimidated. They don't really know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I like the play run through. This sack play, you can watch it from the other angle, will be better. So we'll watch it through and then we'll break it down on the second view. I mean, at that point, if you're Carson Wentz, you're just happy your guy's falling on the ball.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey to the rescue yet again.
Yeah. Right, okay, so let's break this down. I mean, he's clearly looking for a pass maybe in sort of... I'll just bring it up. Maybe in sort of like this area or this area, in between the two linebackers, in between the two sort of safeties or cornerbacks, whoever's playing at the time. But just in trying to exploit zone coverage is hard, but you got to try and do it. So back to the video, watching it through. He's looking. Okay, ball snapped. At this moment in time, offensive line doing the job, you would say?
Yeah, they all, seem to have appropriate splits. There's no big gaps. The center has free range here to help whoever gives up maybe the inside. So, yeah, this looks like good form, good technique from them so far.
Yeah. Watching it through. Now here, obviously we can only see Carson Wentz, so he is looking for someone. That's important. His guy's not open. Keep watching. Just there. I might have. If I could just get it back to. I have to watch it through, but if you just watch, I'll annotate it quickly. This spin move here by, I think that's Sweat. No, it's not. It's Chase Young, sorry. Not Montez Sweat. It's an absolute killer move. I'll give him that. But again, this is just something you're not going to see in Indy happen often, if at all. Just
Yeah.
there. And as
And
soon
what
as
can you do?
that spin move happens, that's just a great play by defense, really. I mean, he breaks a tackle initially, maybe just take the hit there and go down. Don't risk losing the ball like he did, is probably the only criticism. But what a killer play by Chase Young. I know it's not a film room on him, but this is something that was a big worry going into the offseason, his left tackle. Chris Ballard's just addressed that, sorry. So, and like you say, with Quentin Nelson there, it's just not going to happen. And if it does happen, hats off to whoever did it.
Yeah. The only matchup I'm not even really worried about it. I'm more excited to see it, and that's going to be Rams week 2.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see a pretty healthy dose of Quentin Nelson, Aaron Donald. So I'm pretty excited for that. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be one I'm definitely putting on the channel. But right here, in this situation, a lot of people that were Eagles fans that I talked to on the internet would tell me that Carson Wentz just held the ball way too long. And I went through and watched every sack he had all year, every single one, because I kept hearing this over and over. And every game I watched someone, that really wasn't the issue, was him holding the ball too long. Now watching here, that might have been the issue, because he did have a guy open over the middle. You could freeze frame it right here. He could have hit 82.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he expected Chase Young to put such a good move on Jason Peters. I think he expected to have much more time here, and I think he wanted to hit that guy that was up near the second level, at the top of your screen here.
This guy?
Yeah, right there. I think he wanted to hit him. Yeah, I think he wanted to hit him over the middle, put a little touch on that pass. But I think he just didn't have enough time because Chase Young put such a good move on Jason Peters over there.
Yeah, I mean, the people saying he held onto the ball for too long, are people who probably never played quarterback in their life. Because if Chase Young's in my peripheral, I am going to freeze and I'm going to panic. And granted, he did fumble the ball, but what's the better play here? Take the hit and go down, or throw a panic throw to this guy, or to even that guy? So, because we will just mention that, although helmets are do have blinders on to say, when a guy is this close in your face, and not even just Chase Young, but the other Washington lineman is there, you feel it will be really claustrophobic for Carson Wentz in that situation, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're talking about this, there's a lot worse trait, which is the fact that you are sporadic. That is a much worse trait to get rid of than, trying to say that, oh, he holds on to the ball too long.
Mm-hmm.
I will say he holds on to the ball maybe a little bit longer than the average quarterback, but it's not, behind the Colts offensive line, that's not going to be an issue at all. That's never going to be an issue, ever. I think that what he did right here is fine. There's nothing wrong with how he went about this play. He actually had the read here. He saw the guy second level up there and said, once he gets a few steps into this route, I'm going to hit him and get a good amount of yardage. This is just, again, Chase Young making a great play and putting him out of the pocket. That's just good patience here from Wentz. No reason to force this throw, like you said. Maybe throw an interception or something.
Yeah.
There was just, he was waiting, taking what the defense gave him. They got the sack. Oh, well, whatever. The one thing I can critique him on is keep that ball close to you. Keep two hands on that ball. Don't do something stupid like fumble sack and give them the ball. Luckily, his center got it, but Yeah, he kind of tried to do too much right here. No reason to, try to fight when a defensive end has one of your legs held up.
I mean, just quick shout out to, I think he's a 3-time Pro Bowler, something like that, the center.
Oh yeah, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey's probably top 3 to ever do it. He's a beast. He is an absolute specimen of a player.
Just an absolute veteran play that, he was walking a second ago and then he sees his quarterback in trouble and thinks, oh, the ball's there. I'll annotate it quickly because when I annotate it, it looks quite funny, Kelsey there, one of the best ever at his position, is looking directly at the ball. Everyone else is looking for the ball in that little gap there. And that's just, expertise, a little bit lucky, but a great play by Chase Young. The last play I've got is actually an interesting one. It's not a sack, it's not a touchdown, it's not an interception. Because I did watch the interceptions in this game, and okay, they're interceptions, but if your quarterback's not making interceptions, he's not making enough throws, and that's just simple. Every great quarterback makes throws interceptions, throws silly ones, throws. I mean, look at ones Philip Rivers had against the Ravens, which just wasn't an interception, and then look at what Kenny Moore did to Derek Carr. It's just interceptions are then plays where it's either a great play by the defense or it was one the quarterback wants to forget. So I saw no need to go into all them. Everyone knows the stats. And I know that's just not going to happen at Indy. So his last one, which I believe to be a wide receiver error, which probably could have got Philadelphia back into the game at the time. Let me just find it quickly because it's right at the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah. While we were talking about it, Jason Kelsey, 3-time first team All Pro. I think four-time Pro Bowler, if I'm not mistaken. So he's had a lot of success, especially the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I think he's been All Pro player 3 times in the last 5 years, and then a Pro Bowler 4 out of the last 5 as well. So that just doesn't tell you how good Kelsey really is. I mean, the guy is just an absolute beast.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a play I've got. I believe it is a long pass to try and get back in the game, chasing the game. Who does he throw it to? I believe he throws it to this guy here or this one here. I can't remember. But we'll watch it through. But towards the end of the game, to me it looks like a man coverage, maybe. I'm not. I don't know. I'm better than me.
Nah, you're right. Looks to be man coverage, single high safety yet again. We know Washington likes to do it. It's something Washington loves to do. They love to put that one safety back there and tell their corners to win their matchups. And especially against a team like the Eagles who have personnel issues where the receivers, a lot of teams are confident enough to let their corners go one-on-one with these Eagles receivers. I'm sure the only person that really gets any special help is Zach Ertz. And that first play we watched, what happened? That middle linebacker eyed Zach Ertz the whole time. So that guy that was one-on-one with Zach Ertz had help on the inside as well. So this Washington team, this is a good formation for them. It's just Carson Wentz has made great plays individually to beat that defense.
Yeah. So we'll watch it through and then watch it back from this angle again. So I'll just pull it back. So we talked quickly about offense, defense. We'll go to post snap. So here, post snap, what are you seeing? I mean, for me already, Carson Wentz has chosen his matchup. This is what makes me think it's a wide receiver error and not an overthrown ball. You look at Carson Wentz's head placement and this battle right here, a professional quarterback or an NFL quarterback has made his call already.
Yeah. Same thing. I mean, literally what I just explained. Same thing happens. Comes off the ball. Zach Ertz, as you can see, has 2 people on him, and then that middle linebacker to the left of them is also going to help onto Zach Ertz in case he comes to the inside. So they're doing a good job of knowing where Zach Ertz is on the field, mostly because he's pretty much the only receiver on that team that hurts them without Carson Wentz making some incredible throw, single high safety. So Carson Wentz has already seen this one time this game. He's already burnt them one time off the same formation, same defense. He's just going to go back to the well. That's really all he's doing right here. He's going back right to that well, that middle matchup over here, and he's going to try to see if he can just make a great throw.
Yeah. I mean, there for me, it's a bit hard to see here, but these are little things that make it a wide receiver error. So the ball is just, I know it looks like a tiny little speck, but it's literally there. The wide receiver is already looking for the ball instead of concentrating on running his route. And I know it's a game, you want to know where it's going, if it's coming to you. But here for me, if he just trusted Carson Wentz, this is a big play, and this is Philadelphia back in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. If you just roll it forward just a little bit more, kind of want to see what he does whenever the ball gets to him. Let's see if he throws his hands late or not. So he puts them hands up kind of early, rotates his body around. Yeah, like you said, if he just continues on with his route, that's money. That is money. That is a really well thrown ball. All he has to do right here is just not turn his body towards this football like he did. He just has to continue with his route and trust that Carson is going to put a good ball there.
Yeah. Oh, I'll play it back one more time because it is an interesting play. And it's really, for me, it really shows off that Carson Wentz has the talent to be an elite quarterback. And maybe he just needs a T.Y. Hilton there or a Zach Pascal there instead of some college player.
Hey, or Paris Campbell.
Paris Campbell.
I'd like to see Paris Campbell get in the mix this year.
Yeah, I mean, we could watch it from this angle, but maybe Carson Wentz throws it a tad early. Maybe he's feeling the 8th sack of the game or whatever it was. Maybe he's just a bit worried about his pocket. So maybe he's a tad early. But interestingly, like you said, this is where quarterbacks make, again, great quarterbacks make great reads, because the easy option here is throw to your trusted guy. We see it, Jacoby Brissett was quite a pain for that. He only threw it to guys he trusted, and that's sort of what hindered him in the end, and he couldn't get the ball downfield. Because you look at Brissett, and Jacoby would make a throw here to Zach Ertz when there's 3 guys there. Wentz has absolutely vetoed that and gone over the top.
He just threw 3 people on Zach Ertz on the underneath. How do we stop him? I just put 3 people there.
Yeah. But again, teams can't afford to put 3 people on one person when it comes to the Colts next year. It's just, you might double up on Paris Campbell because of his speed. You might double up on T.Y. Hilton because of his route running. But they can't afford to put 3 on 1 because it just leaves too many weapons open. So I think, Carson Wentz is going to be all right.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see this RPO offense with Jonathan Taylor, Carson Wentz. That if I'm thinking of something, well, from that angle, it does look like he's a little bit wide left. I don't know. The receiver did turn around prematurely. He should have known that the ball was going to go to his outside once that corner had his inside hip. Like he should have known. Carson Wentz cannot throw that safely towards that safety and that corner there. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think that was just kind of, I think that was that receiver getting a little bit too jumpy, not knowing the scenario, and causing Carson Wentz to overthrow him just a little bit to the left.
And I mean, for me, you know, and this can be blowing smoke up our own horn or whatever you want to call it, but the O line holds up a bit better. Carson Wentz has more confidence. This in situation, I can't remember where he started on the line, but it's probably T.Y. Hilton if it was the Colts. You know, who is probably, because of his experience, T.Y. Hilton is already more down here in the field. You know, because he's not looking over his shoulder. He's just expecting these guys to make a play. When you look, if T.Y. Hilton is more likely, or Paris Campbell even because he's the fast guy, is going to be down here, he's caught it. Much to my amazing art drawing.
Yeah, you just can't, as a receiver in that situation, you know there's a single high safety. You know you've went to this well once. You know this play's worked once already. Once you have this corner beat, this safety is going to be over to you. It's time to just realize this ball is going to come to my outside shoulder, that I need to recognize that, get over there and make that catch. That's what you have to do as a receiver in that situation. Just make the correct read, and it's all honky dory. You get a nice 30, 40-yard run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's the players I highlighted. Obviously, there's loads of film out there on Carson Wentz. People are free to go on, do their own digging and that. But again, I just see stuff I should be excited about. You know, going from Philip Rivers, who had one leg and one arm, this is an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, whatever people want to say, oh, your offense is going to be worse. Philip Rivers did this, did that. You know, we had one of the worst offenses in the league in the red zone last year. And why was that? Because we could get to the red zone all the time. Like it was like every game, drive after drive, we would be in the red zone. But we struggled there. And why was that? Because we didn't have a quarterback that had the arm strength to fit a ball in these tight zones. That was our biggest issue. Philip Rivers can do all the quick passing he wants between them 60 yards going to the red zone. But once we got there, it's just like our offense was just nothing. It was just so nullified as either we ran the ball in or we had some trick play, you know, to try to get that touchdown. And that was our biggest issue last year. Now we got a quarterback that's going to come in there. He's young, all kinds of arm talent, super strong arm. And I feel like we're going to see a big turnaround in our red zone offense this year for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's all for the film room on Carson Wentz. And like I said, you're free to go and watch all the film you want and make your own decisions. I think with Carson Wentz, the Colts have generally become, genuinely, God, that was a mouthful, become a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of tools as it was. And then we go into the draft and we get best case scenario Quiddy Pay, and then we get Deo. If I try to pronounce his last name, I look stupid, so I'm not going to try to. But we get two really good players, both of which are first round talent. One just he has an injury, of course. You know, I feel like we come out of this offseason much better. You know, of course, Philip Rivers came in and did a much better job than anyone expected, but let's not forget the first 9-10 weeks of the season. Philip Rivers didn't do anything. Like we were carrying him. If we were winning, it was in spite of Philip Rivers. You know, if we can get Carson Wentz to come in here and day one, have a good amount of production, you know, he's already going to be an upgrade. Let's not put ourselves in that situation we did last year where we were having to scrap and claw to get into the playoffs. Let's come out. Let's be aggressive off the jump. Let's, you know, get Carson Wentz going. Let's pass this ball and let's get ready for this playoff run that we should have.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all from me and Xavier. I hope you enjoyed the video. You will see much more soon.